Microsoft just released the Surface Pro 6, and I've been really curious how it compares with the previous generation Surface Pro. So in this video, I'm going to walk through everything that's changed, everything that stayed the same, and show you what extra features you are actually paying for. This is a very hard comparison to make because the models don't line up exactly. So for the sake of comparison, I'm going to compare the base model of the Surface Pro 6 without the keyboard with the base model of the previous generation Surface Pro without the keyboard. So the previous generation Surface Pro is the what I call Surface Pro 5. Technically, it's the 2017 Surface Pro. So last year's model started at $799. This year's model starts at $899. You can get a brand new Surface Pro 2017 for about $630 on Amazon last time I checked. So I'm going to be actually comparing these two price points, which comes out to be roughly a $270 difference. Now let's look at the similarities first between the two Surface Pros. Battery life stays the same. Both are at 13.5 hours. The screen size are both the same at 12.3 inches, and both devices sport the same resolution at 2736 pixels by 1824 pixels. Both devices also come in at 1.7 pounds, so they weigh the exact same, and they both have a 5 megapixel front facing camera and an 8 megapixel autofocus rear facing camera. Now, what about the differences? What are you paying extra for? The new Surface Pro 6 has a base model of a 8th generation Core i5 processor, whereas the base model of last year was actually a 7th generation Intel Core M3 processor. So I looked up some benchmarks on User Benchmark, as you can see here in this screenshot. When comparing these two CPUs, the overall effective speed increase is 63% faster. Now let's not forget one of my favorite improvements, which is actually an aesthetic improvement. It's that the Surface Pro 6 has gone back to being black. I loved my first Surface device. It was a Surface RT. It was black, and to be honest, I was so sad when they went to the silver color because I really liked the black. Now, does it actually impact any performance of the device? No, it's purely aesthetic, but I have to admit, I do love it. So, are all these features worth an additional $270? Well, it's really hard to make that judgment, but to simplify it, here's how I would put it. I say that you're paying an extra $100 for the additional 4 gigabytes of RAM. You're paying an additional $100 for the extra 63% boost in computer speed, and you're paying an additional $70 for the nice black finish. So as is always the case with new technology, it's always a tough choice between choosing the latest and greatest versus getting a steal on last year's model. I would say in this case, the Surface Pro 6 is a great deal for the base model. You get a good boost in performance, while most of the features that we loved from last year remain the same. And really nothing has gone backwards. Everything's either gotten better or remained the same. So there you go, just a really quick comparison of what's changed and the specs between the Surface Pro 6 and the Surface Pro 5. Do let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Will you be getting a Surface Pro 6, or will you opt to save some money and go with the Surface Pro 5? Thank you very much for watching.